Welcome back to World Drum Club, everyone. I'm Kalani Das. In this lesson, I'm going to be showing you ways you can use any drum, one drum, with your hand or a mallet or a stick and create rhythmic grounds. Grounding is a technique. I'm going to steal it from my music therapy practice, but we use it in music ed, jamming. I mean, it's basically creating a steady rhythm that will create a structure, a musical structure, that serves to help create organization. It helps organize, it helps energize the music, it helps create the ground or the playground, if you will, by drawing lines and boundaries, setting up predictability, which also sets up a sense of safety and security for people to then play music. So they can enter into the ground, they can build on top of the ground. Any metaphor you want to use is fine. I'm going to show you how to do that in a way that's easy and effective and universal. And if you learn these simple grounding patterns, you can use them for the rest of time in just about any musical setting that you find yourself in. All right, so I'm excited. I hope you are too. We're going to start off, and I'm going to use some general names. These are all universal rhythms. Nobody owns them. I'm going to use some names that I hope will help you remember the rhythms and help you make sense out of them. So let's start with one that's super popular and ubiquitous. Most people call this the heartbeat rhythm. And that is a boom, 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 heartbeat, doom, doom. And I'm going to put that as a and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. And 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Simple. And 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2. You can count it any way you want. You can write it any way you want. Some people also do the heartbeat in a triple meter. We'll get to those meters a little bit later on. We're going to move on for right now. So heartbeat rhythm, right? Super easy. The next one I'm just calling, well, I'm going to play it and then I'm going to tell you what I'm calling it. This is the simplest, very, very simple. Very profound, and I use this most of the time. Very simple. I told you it was simple. So this is our steady beat rhythm, but in this context, I might call that bear, the bear, or the buffalo, or some big heavy animal that's just walking. Boom, boom. Or you can call it walking. Boom, boom, boom. Steady rhythm. It's the best. You don't need anything else. You know, there's simplicity, there's beauty in simplicity. Now, you can, if you want, accent or accentuate or de-accentuate. Is that the right word? The notes in there, so maybe I give it a little, extra on the first beat, for example. Or I can do the first 3 louder and the last one softer. I still think that outlines a phrase, so it adds a little bit of interest to it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Maybe it's got a little sore foot or something and kind of go light on that one. Be creative, but the idea is that's just straight grounding beat, right? Really simple. All right, let's have some fun with and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a... Now this one you got to be careful. I'm calling this horse because it sounds like galloping, but a little slow. Tick-a-tut, 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 right? The galloping of a horse. That's how you could remember the rhythm, and we've all heard this rhythm. Be careful you don't fill it in too much. You could actually play the anda on the edge or on the rim. which is kind of like the bear, but we're adding that upbeat. Or simplify it. And a 1, and a 2, and a you know what to do, and a 1, and a 2. I'm using muting, tighter sound, and then open. It's the idea, right? And that works at all tempos, medium and slow. The idea, again, is to create simple and clear musical points and that create lines. And lines help people to feel secure about where they can be, where they can play in the rhythm or in the music in general. So again, the idea is grounding, which means simple and clear and steady. That's the main thing. Not so much important what you play, but how you play. Right? Let's do one more. I'm just going to call this the snake rhythm because the snake is shh, 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 and then boom. You got to be careful. So I'm going to do boom, 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 boom. That's when he strikes. But you move out of the way. So the snake is shh, 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 shh. It has that element. Now, why do we do that? Well, this creates a lot of space. So this is our most open in terms of space and rests. And I don't want to go to silence, though, because silence is kind of hard for a lot of people. If I don't put in the shh, shh, it's like this. Now, that's okay for people who are comfortable and skilled with rhythm, but for a lot of people, they need more structure than that. You need a little more. So you can add a little more without making too much sound, without making too much volume. You can add a sound that is quieter. So we're just going to call that snake for now. You can make up your own names. These are not in any way the be-all, end-all in terms of naming. They're just rhythms. But I wanted to give you those as reference points. So we have heartbeat. We have bear. We have horse. Or we have snake. Those are our duple meter or simple 4/4 even beat rhythms. And now let's learn a few that are in a triple meter or compound meter. What do I mean? Well, let's start with triple. Let's start with a 3-based. And this sounds like this. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Sway, 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 sway. Of course, this is our waltz rhythm. Strawberry, strawberry. Of course, you know lots of people, you can use words to anchor the rhythm as a reminder and as a device that you can use. Up to you. I'm just calling that tree sway. Rock-a-bye baby in the treetop, right? Might help you remember that rhythm. Let's go to another one. This is a little bit different. These are all similar, but they have subtle differences. So this one sounds more like... rolling, rolling, rolling rock, rolling rock, rolling rock, rolling, tumbling, tumbling, tumbling down. Tumbling, rolling, ja-dee-dee-da-dee-dee-da-dee-dee, and if we counted, wap-a-dee-da-dee-da-dee-dee, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, then we call that 6/8. Now you might say, well, isn't that just a fast 3/4? And, you know, you can think of these any way you want, but really 3/4 would be like waltz, it'd be slower. This one is a tumbling, tumbling, tumbling feel. So not swaying so much, but like a rolling feel. So we usually call that 6/8. It's a compound meter. It's 2 groups of 3. And that's how it feels. There's lots of music that's written like that. Music can be written different ways and talked about in different ways and labeled different ways. So these are generalities. Let's move on and do one that is 4 groups of 3. Now, isn't that just 2 6/8? Not really. Listen to this one. A 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Those are what we call eighth notes. It's 12/8 is the meter, but don't worry about that. We're just going to call this shuffle. You could think of a rabbit like bump, 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 little hops, beep, 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 beep. Hippity hoppity, hippity hoppity. So it's a little bit like 6/8, but it's more of a phrase of 4 beats, and usually we just accent the first, and the last group, first and last of a group of 3. D D D D, like a 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3. And that's like jazz, shuffle, whatever you want to think of it. All right. So our triple meter rhythms were waltz or sway, slow 3. Our faster 2 sets of 3 was we call 6/8 or the tumbling, tumbling. Tumbling, 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 something like that. And then our longer phrase is 4 groups of 3, and that has more of a shuffle feel. So there you go. Now you have 4 duple meter or even feeling rhythms. Heartbeat, bear, horse, snake. You've got 3 triple meter rhythms. How convenient that you can use. And, all of these can be simplified. They can also be made a little more complex with different ornamentations, accents, dynamic changes, timbral changes, in other words, changes to the sounds themselves. And they can be interjected with other little rhythmic things. But the basic thing, the takeaway from this is that when you're playing grounding rhythms, you are in a role, pun intended. Your role in the music is to help organize and stabilize the music and energize the music, not to do a solo, not to be changing all the time. Your role is really to be steady, predictable, reliable, clear, etc., etc. So it's not about, this is not a time when you're in a grounding role, it's not a time to be super creative in terms of leaving the beat, because people are depending on you to maintain that beat so they can explore in a safe way. Does that make sense? So if you were setting up people to play a game or whatever game, playground game, you're the person that's going to be drawing the lines and maintaining that play area, and we don't want to see that changing because people will be thrown off by that probably. So the idea is predictability, steadiness, being of service. This is a way to be of service to others. I think it's really exciting. I love playing grounding rhythms. I love playing the bass drums. They're just warm. You can play these rhythms on any instrument. It doesn't have to be a low-pitched instrument. It could be a tambourine or a bell or a triangle, anything. But the idea is create those lines so people can enter that play area and feel safe and feel encouraged and make music and have fun playing music. All right, so this video is for any of you. You can play these on any instrument. Let me know if you have anything to add that will make this information better for our World Drum Club global community all around the world. I know there's different rhythms all around the world. If you want to send me some ideas and suggestions, you can do that through the Patreon site, patreon.com/Kalani. Enjoy practicing these with your metronome and play them for other people in a group, and use that as an opportunity to get better at grounding and keeping that steady rhythm, and then have fun with it and enjoy. All right, go make some great music. I'll see you all in a future video.